Hello and thanks for joining us. President Macron has declared restaurants in France will remain closed until at least the 20th of January because of the pandemic. During the lockdowns, some chefs hung up their aprons, but others decided to put their talents towards helping those in need. In March, a charitable project called La Cuisine Solidaire made 20,000 meals for disadvantaged communities. For the second lockdown in France, the chefs are hoping to make even more. Our team has been to a restaurant in central Paris. Here's Claire Rush.
The doors of this Parisian restaurant may be shut, but inside its kitchen is as busy as ever. It's all hands on deck for these chefs, who are here as part of an initiative by the Table de Chef charity. Their goal? Turn groceries that have been donated into more than 30,000 meals to feed those most in need before the holidays. Michelin-star chef GERARD is retired, but he couldn't turn down a chance to don his apron once again.
Tout de suite, en 4 secondes, l'équipe se forme. Un regard, salut, tu vas bien? Bonjour, hop, on se tutoie. Et ça part, quoi. Et tout le monde fonce dans les oignons, vous avez vu, dans les oignons, dans les poissons, dans les crumbles. Et tout le monde est fier et ravi. Et on est fier d'être chef.
The hospitality sector has been slammed by the pandemic. Some industry experts estimate that up to a third of restaurants in the Paris region alone are at risk of closing for good. This chef worked for a well-known caterer until it went bankrupt.
Là, je suis victime du Covid et du confinement. Mais en attendant, puisque j'ai du temps pour moi, j'essaie de le mettre à profit pour les gens qui en ont besoin. Et puis ça donne un petit peu un sens à votre métier.
In a single day, this army of chefs prepared over 2,000 meals, which were then sent to food banks across the Paris region, including this church on the other side of the city.
Ils sont très haut placés, mais ils pensent quand même aux plus pauvres que nous avons, que nous accueillons. Ils disent que c'est très bon. Ils disent ça vient d'où, c'est quoi? Et alors à ce moment-là, on leur explique d'où ça vient.
Initiatives like these have been welcomed by aid groups. The number of people in France requesting food aid has surged 50% during the pandemic.
Well, the pandemic has also forced exhibitions online. One particularly exciting virtual show features 12 of the world's most valuable lost works of art. Samsung's Missing Masterpieces shines a light on paintings from the likes of Van Gogh to Cézanne. Not only does it give a chance for art enthusiasts to enjoy works feared lost forever, it allows amateur sleuths to hone their detective skills. Jennifer Ben-Brahim went on the hunt for clues.
I'm a thief.
From entrapment to the Thomas Crown affair, the glamour of the art world makes for a perfect heist film. But art theft is not exclusive to the silver screen.
Very early in the morning, I got a phone call from our colleagues at the Singer Museum in Laren, and I could almost hear in the voice of my colleague that he was very distressed, telling me that our loan to his museum was stolen. And it's our only Van Gogh painting.
In the early hours of March 30th, a thief used a sledgehammer to smash their way into the Singer Largen Museum in the Netherlands, stealing Vincent van Gogh's The Parsonage Garden at Nuenen on what would have been his 167th birthday. The whereabouts and the condition of the painting remain unknown, but the investigation is not without clues.
Very famous journalists received photographs of the painting and even the backside of the painting, which is proof of existence because you can also make a reproduction or, take a picture of a photograph. And then they put a newspaper of the day and, funnily enough, the book about an earlier Van Gogh thief. So it's perhaps a little bit of a joke within that scene.
The painting is one of 12 works on show in Missing Masterpieces. From Cézanne to Monet, art enthusiasts can see some of the most iconic pieces lost to the general public, from the comfort of their own home. It's also the first exhibition to give amateur sleuths the chance to share their theories.
Most stolen art does not have a market, but in fact, the more famous works are subsumed into a network of criminal groups and traded for other illicit goods that have a value but a risk in trying to cash in on, like drugs and arms. The funny thing is that criminals tend not to realize this. They watch the same movies that we do, and they think that there are criminal Dr. No type collectors out there who will buy stolen art.
According to Dr. Charney, a painting being stolen can be the best thing to happen for an artwork's prestige.
Works of art that are stolen actually elevate the value of that work in particular and all the works by that artist. We see an example very famously in France. Probably the most famous theft of anything in history is the theft of the Mona Lisa by Vincenzo Peruggia in 1911. And before that, Mona Lisa was one among many very famous important works at the Louvre, but it was not the world's most famous work of art until it was stolen. Works of art by artists whose works have been targeted absolutely gain in terms of notoriety, and the artist's reputation rises because people say, you know, this must be an artist of value if they're worth stealing.
Czech artist BARBAR knows only too well what it's like to be thrown into the limelight. 2 of her artworks, one on show and missing masterpieces, were stolen in broad daylight from a museum in Norway.
I should be angry at these people who did it. But at the same time, after also talking with my boyfriend, his first reaction was like, wow, congratulations. And I actually, of course, then realized that this is a very wicked homage to my art. I actually felt somehow strangely honored, to be honest.
We have identified the thieves. We have not found the painting.
Her struggle to trace her stolen works was documented in The Painter and the Thief, which premiered at Sundance Film Festival this year. She developed an unlikely friendship with one of the thieves during the trial, who claimed to have no memory of a robbery and no recollection as to the whereabouts of the paintings.
I wanted to recreate the crime scene. You know, I wanted to make like really huge scale, over life-size painting, how they are removing the canvases. Immediately as I entered the room, and however pathetic it sounds, all my potential thoughts of painting him as a criminal, as the one who steals my art, it just dropped off my mind. And I was completely hooked on what I saw there and what I felt. And that was just a pure human being sitting there in desperation and in the big pities, and most likely also sorry for what he did.
Oh, what the...
Many of these stolen paintings resurfaced generations later. Amateur detectives have until February to enjoy the missing masterpieces and dig up clues.
And the exhibition is live on the Samsung website until the 10th of February. Now, the 42nd Cairo Film Festival is underway, much to the joy of the Arab world's cinema lovers. Despite the COVID pandemic and the more latent threat of censorship, filming continues and productions are on the up. A new generation of talented directors have emerged. They have a common aim: to help bring about a cultural shift in what they see as an overtly traditionalist society. Nadia Sharbet has more.
A red carpet showy enough to make Hollywood green with envy. But look beyond the glitz and glamour and you'll find that here in Egypt, filmmaking is more of a political venture. Egyptian authorities have banned the mahraganat, a musical style deemed indecent. Yet at the El Gouna Film Festival, the Arab world's best-known actors and directors defy censorship to make a musical entrance.
In our region, cinema doesn't have the freedom it needs. Freedom of expression doesn't exist. People hold on to old traditions, and there's no room for debate. But film can turn all that upside down. It changes people's mindsets and challenges bigotry.
Many artists have caught on to the fact, using the silver screen as a canvas upon which to project a new society, one less constrained by tradition. In her latest film, Shaqwa, director FARAH SHAER takes on the issue of marital rape, which remains legal in Lebanon.
ما في شيء اسمه اغتصاب بالزواج، ما بعرف مين بخبرك بس ما في اغتصاب بالزواج. يعني مش جريمة، شو؟
اغتصاب منه جريمة؟
لك الاغتصاب جريمة، الاغتصاب الزوجة ما بيعتبر جريمة، مش من عندي مدام، هذه موجودة بالقانون.
I directed 4 shorts in which I tell the story of these women, all victims of domestic violence. I tell the story of their captivity, the growing isolation of these women who desperately want to leave but are forced to stay as a result of pressure from their husbands, their families, their friends, and society at large.
The Arab world is witnessing the rise of a whole new generation of filmmakers taking the revolution to the big screen. It's not open warfare. Fiction is often the weapon of choice, but directors need not look very far to find inspiration. More often than not, the stories they tell unfold daily at their very doorstep.
And we'll leave you with the Mobile Film Festival, which is in its 16th year. The theme is women's empowerment. A jury will watch a selection of 50 one-minute films made on a phone. The prize is €46,000. You guys at home can also vote, and anyone can enter. There's more details on the website mobilefilmfestival.com. Remember our website, we're also on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. There's more news coming up on France 24 after this.
You have enjoyed your program with Air France Protect, promising you a pleasant trip with total peace of mind.